What I want to talk about on today's call is the state of marketing, the power of focus, Facebook advertising, the best 3 sales questions, video marketing, the importance of faces.
This call is being recorded.
So what I want to talk about on today's call, guys, is effort, and specifically how effort is what actually creates massive success. It's funny, in the world of business, there really isn't a PhD. You know, there are people with PhDs in the business world, but you really can't get a PhD in business. It's not something that you hear a lot about, but there is a PhD. And I want you to think about those letters, PhD, passion plus hustle plus DNA. That's how Gary Vee explains the key to success. And I think it's ironic that it is a PhD. Today, I'm going to focus on the hustle. The H, because I know you guys are passionate and I know you guys have the right DNA for the job because I hired you. But I want to start off with a couple of quotes about effort and hustle from some of the people that you look up to. Gary Vee has a great quote: "Smart work will never replace hard work. It only supplements it." All of you guys are loving Eric Thomas lately. Eric Thomas, one of our new clients, one of the best motivational speakers in the world. Here's his quote about effort: "If you're not where you want to be, if you don't have what you want to have, if you're not where you think you should be, it has nothing to do with the system. It has everything to do with the fact that you're not making the sacrifice." And guys, this isn't about 80-hour work weeks, but don't tell someone you want to be a millionaire and then work like a 100,000-aire. We don't require overtime at Curator, but overtime is required for massive success. Here's another great quote from Elon Musk. Created Tesla, created PayPal, Solar City. Work like hell. I mean, if you put in 80 to 100 hours a week, this improves your odds of success. If other people are putting in 40 hours and you're putting in 100 hours and you're doing the same thing, you can achieve in 4 months what will take them a year. So some of the people that you guys admire and look up to, like, they're just straight up grinding. They're just straight up 12 to 18 hours a day every day. Here's a couple great quotes from Mark Zuckerberg. Some people dream of success while others wake up and work hard at it. This is a great follow-up by Zuckerberg. "The question I ask myself almost every day, am I doing the most important thing I could be doing? Unless I feel like I'm working on the most important problem that I can help with, then I don't feel good about how I'm spending my time." So step 1, guys, is you have to identify what truly matters versus what sort of matters. There's actually a really cool breakdown. We'll drop the link to this in Slack. It's called the Impact Effort Matrix. Jimmy talks about this quite a bit on the calls that we have. But it's very simple. There's a visual that goes along with it. And you basically want to break all of your tasks into 4 quadrants. Impact, high or low, plus effort, high or low. And that's what creates efficiency. So you're basically, if you look at the matrix, which we'll drop in Slack, you have things that have low effort but low impact. They call those the fill-ins. You have things that have low effort but they have high impact. Those are the quick wins. You have things that take a lot of effort, but they have a lot of impact. Those are called major projects. And then you have things that take a lot of effort, but they don't make a big impact. Those are called thankless tasks. So it's really nice. I actually want you guys all to print this out, and I want you to write out all of the activities and projects you're working on in the left-hand column. And then I want you to place those on this matrix so that you can see what matters the most in your job. Once you've identified what matters most, step 2 is very simple. Attack it with veracity and vigor. You have to, once you realize here's the major projects and here's the quick wins, you've got to go all in on those. And you've got to avoid the things that take a ton of work and only provide a little bit of an upside. I looked at a couple kind of case studies on effort, case studies about people and businesses that we all admire that are absolutely kind of the cream of the crop, but we don't think about the fact that effort is what got them there. We think it's skill. We think it's luck. We think it's charisma. We think it's the gift of gab. We think it's that they actually got lucky and had the right opportunity at the right time. Well, one of the great quotes about Michael Jordan, Jordan's defining characteristic wasn't his talent, but having the humility to know he had to work constantly to be the best. Like, I never wake up and think I'm the best. I wake up and think I want to be the best. And if you're going to beat the best and be the best, you have to work as hard as the best. How about Starbucks? I'm drinking one right now. The CEO of Starbucks, Howard Schultz, he gets into the office at 6 and he stays until 7. He then does overseas calls late at night from home. He goes to the office on Sundays, plus he reads emails from employees on Saturdays. Do you want to be the CEO of Starbucks? It's a lot of work. How many of you guys have heard of Mark Cuban? Multi-billionaire, owns a sports team, must be great. Well, Cuban took an incredible amount of work to benefit from his luck. When starting his first company, he routinely stayed up until 2 a.m. reading about new software, and he went 7 years without a vacation. But yeah, he's on Shark Tank now. He's at the Mavs games now. But who wants to put in those 7 years? That's what I'm wondering. How about GE? You guys heard of General Electric? This is crazy. The CEO of GE worked 100 hours a week for 24 straight years. That is all after he starts his day at 5:30 by working out, reading the papers, and watching the news. Think about Tim Cook. Who wants to be like, everybody wants to be like Apple. People want to be like Steve Jobs. Tim Cook starts his day at 4:30 in the morning, and he's the last person to leave every single day. So how does hustle apply to Curator? How does it apply to our organization and others? Well, let's talk about sales for a second. How do you increase effort in sales? It's simple. It's more call blocks. You dial more. We did an ISA day. We booked 37 demos in one day. It normally takes us 5 days. So by putting maximum extreme effort into one task, we were able to multiply the results. Think about this, guys. I want you to think about how it would impact your income and sales if you had one extra conversation per day. If you have one additional conversation per day in sales, that is 260 additional demos per year. At a 40% close rate, which is what we have right now, that would be an additional 104 deals per year, or an additional 9 deals per month per rep. So if you're in sales, it's about that one more conversation. It's about having one more conversation than you're having now every day. And I understand that sales can be a grind, but there are times where we get to take our foot off the gas. Right now is not one of them. One of my favorite quotes from Tupac, let's get rich and then we can kick it. We're not rich yet, guys. How about marketing? How does marketing increase their effort? Well, part of it in marketing, because marketing is a very creative process. Marketing is a little trickier. Sales is pretty straightforward. Dial more, book more demos, do more demos, send more contracts, have more conversations. But in marketing, it's actually about setting aggressive deadlines and sticking to them. It's about batching your work to get ahead because curveballs are always coming. Annette works really hard on calls. She's got 2 episodes a week every week. But I just asked her to do a thing about my Ty Lopez interview. I just asked her to do a thing about my NAR appearance. I just asked her to make all these stock story images for our Instagram campaign. So the key to marketing and effort is if you're not ahead, you are behind. And I'll give you guys a little perspective on this. You guys know we started a show called Curated, and the first episode was a big hit. Props to Jan and the team that worked on it. But since we recorded our second episode of Curated, Gary Vee has put out 25 episodes of his show. We should have been done with episode 2 when we went to excellence, because now Jan's got all the excellence stuff on his plate. So one tip I have for you guys in marketing is work like you're on vacation. This came from Chris Brogan when we interviewed him. If you will simply wake up and pretend that the beach is waiting on you, pretend that your family, pretend your friends, pretend your pets, I don't care what it is, pretend they're waiting for you at the beach. And if you don't crank out a day's worth of work, you can't go join them. Work like you're on vacation. Wake up every day and hustle and grind from 8:30 to 12:30. I promise you the rest of the day will take care of itself. The other thing you have to do in marketing, products, some of the other divisions, something Andrew says, which is go dark. You have to be willing to turn everything off. Turn off Slack, turn off email, turn off your phone, turn off the TV. And you have to be willing to just go into a cave and do your work. You have to have extreme clarity and focus. And sometimes to do that, you have to go dark to get it done. What does this look like in support and growth? What would it look like to hustle harder, to grind a little more, to put in a little bit more effort? Well, here's what's crazy. Think about the numbers. If our support team handled one additional ticket per day each, and let's say there's 5 people on the support team, one extra ticket per day, 5 people on the team doing that is 1,300 additional tickets per year. Think about growth coaches. Like if the growth coaches did one extra growth call a day, 3 growth coaches per year would be putting in 780 additional calls. 780 additional one-on-one calls is the equivalent of every customer we have getting an additional one-on-one call. But it all starts with just one extra call a day, one extra conversation a day, one extra ticket a day, one extra shooting free throws a day, right? Like let's talk about product. And I love our product team. I call Yana the silent assassin. You know, we've got Leo and Vlad and Vladimir, and our product team is better than ever. But I want the product team to understand that right now, every single person that works here and that's a customer is waiting on you. They know what's coming and they're hungry for it. We showed them what we built. So in product, effort is about sprinting to the finish line because the finish line is also the starting line. We have to ship the products so that we can work on the problems. And then we have to take as much or more urgency to fixing the issues as we do to shipping more stuff. One thing that works when it comes to effort across every division is public shaming, right? Like when you saw Jimmy put out the new dashboard and he let every employee say, hey, Yana, here's what we're really frustrated by. Here are the bugs that make it hard on us every single day to do our job. Like by making that public, the first thing got knocked out about an hour later. So it's one thing for you to be waiting on you, but when others are waiting on you, you should really feel that pain. You should really feel that urgency to put that extra effort in. Think about curator marketer. I want you guys to analyze, and this is really on Tyler, who is constantly ahead in marketer, who is constantly behind. Like we had a week off where we went to excellence and we were all just absolutely fried. 5 days of networking, socializing, masterminding, and learning. So like Lauren went to excellence and then she went on a cruise and she still got all of her stuff done. And we have people that didn't take a cruise and they're struggling to get their stuff done. So what I would do in marketer is say, who's always ahead and why? What is it that they're doing to get ahead? Well, I can tell you it's probably 12-hour days on the weekend. It's probably 5 or 6 hours at night. Because if you're going to be gone for a few days on a cruise, work like you're on vacation. Work like you're about to take a vacation. So props to Lauren for getting all of her stuff done. But I think ultimately we now have 15 marketers and curator marketer. Who is the most efficient? Let them teach a class about their workflows and processes to everyone else. We've got too many people that are able to get it done to really listen to the people who say they can't. The last thing I want you guys to rely on as far as effort and getting more production per minute out of yourself is on us. Rely on the owners. Rely on the managers. Rely on the leaders. But I will tell you guys, when you're running a digital marketing company that's starting to grow and 55 employees and 1,000 customers, it's sort of difficult for your boss to know what you need help with. You're in the trenches. You're in the day-to-day work. We don't know exactly what we can do to make your life easier. Like when I was in the restaurant industry and I was the head of the restaurant, it was very easy for me to figure out who needed help. I could see that the bartender was slammed, so I could hop back there and make a few drinks for him. I can see that the kitchen has tickets printing and they're hanging to the floor. So I know I need to go hop in there and put an apron on and cook. If I see a server is in the weeds and they're running around like they're about to lose themselves, I'm going to go help them get some drinks and help them run some food. So in the restaurant world, you can literally see who needs help with what as a manager. In our world, it's a little bit trickier. So help us help you. Let your manager know exactly what's on your plate and how you need to clear it. And by the way, the other thing, guys, because everybody goes through this where you go through these ups and downs. You're hustling and grinding and enjoying everything, and then you kind of hit a wall. And you need some time, some downtime to refresh. So that's part of it, is just like work-life balance. We talk about that on the calls all the time. But the other thing is, if you are ever feeling unmotivated, which happens to everybody, please send me a private message. I will be more than happy to hop on a call and help you get refocused and re-energized. I need those calls sometimes, guys. People think I hustle hard. People think I work all the time, which I do. But like, I had a breakdown recently. I had to call Jimmy and say, dude, I'm dead. I'm exhausted. I forgot I'm a human. You know, I have a breakdown with my wife. Babe, I feel like I'm working so hard and you know, I'm just exhausted. I'm mentally and physically fatigued. That happens to everyone, guys. So if you're ever feeling down, if you're ever feeling like you're dragging a little bit, I will be happy to get on a call with you and do for you what Jimmy does for me. Do for you what my wife does for me, which is reset your mind and make you realize how great you've got it. Make you realize how blessed we are to work here, to live where we live, to have the jobs that we have. The last thing I'll say about effort, this is probably the most famous quote about how effort impacts success. Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and it looks like work. That's from Thomas Edison. So what I want to leave you guys with today and for this week and for the rest of the year is I want you to work like you want this job, not like you already have this job. Thanks for your time. Hey, this is Chris. Thanks for listening to my call. If you enjoyed the call, please subscribe right now. Also, share the episode and use the hashtag #CallsWithChris. Every week, I choose a few people randomly to win a free signed copy of The Conversion Code, my USA Today best-selling book. You can also visit Curaytor.com. That's CURAYTOR.com to learn more about my company, which is the one I'm running during these calls. We help small businesses grow faster, and we've been featured recently by Inc., Forbes, Fortune, and Entrepreneur Magazine.